Stoplight Spoilers is coming to you, bringing you spoilers and movie reviews, with Jake and Isaiah as your hosts as they're driving home.
1, 2, 3, test. Okay.
What about me? Yeah?
You're fine. We lose your audio, it's okay. You've come on so much, we're going to have to add you to the song, David.
It's alright. I want to be the featured guest, like, on Saturday Night Live. I want to be like what's his
Permanent
face?
featured guest.
Yeah, like one of those, like Tim Meadows.
You got to come up with a good skit though, so you can play the cowbell, and we can be like, just more cowbell. What I think we need is more cowbell.
Hi, Jacob.
Hey, what's going on? Hi, Isaiah.
That's a good one. And welcome, David Frazier. Oh, last name. Good one.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Just search me on Facebook.
At David Frazier.
.com.
DavidFrazier.com.
There actually is a DavidFrazier.com, or at least there was at one time.
Alright, so this week,
Am I pissing you off?
we're off to a great start.
I got to bring some humor into this podcast.
I think it's actually going to develop on its own.
We'll see.
Because we watched a comedy this week.
What's that?
We watched a comedy.
I can't really hear you right now.
Why can't you?
Because the movie was so freaking loud tonight.
Oh.
My ears are damaged.
I literally told David, I was like, don't bring up anything audio-wise. I guarantee Jacob had
There
issues.
was 2 moments in the movie I physically blocked my ears with
And
my
you were
fingers.
definitely more sensitive, than most people.
Yeah.
Yes, it was loud.
Yeah, it was extremely loud.
I know you're very sensitive.
But, like,
as far as
You
not
don't
saying
have
you're
to, whatever.
No, I'm
whatever.
not.
You don't have to specify. I get your point.
No. I'm just being
No, I
serious.
get your point.
That you just are more sensitive to noise.
And so physically plugging my ears because of the sheer volume of this movie.
And I even know the scenes too because
Yeah.
it's like the planes that were.
Oh, it
It
was
was super high.
It was pretty rough. But anyway, so the movie this week, if you haven't picked up from the title that is written there when you clicked on it, and from what we're talking about Dunkirk.
The tagline is "Loud Planes." Just kidding. I don't know what the tagline is.
Me either. However, so
Dunkirk. Kill the Germans.
although they weren't referenced in the movie whatsoever,
They were referenced.
when did they say German?
They said it multiple times.
I never heard it.
Oh.
Nick never heard it.
That's
Jared never heard it.
That's weird.
It's very weird.
One specific time is when they were in the boat that kept getting holes shot in it.
And he said Germans?
Yeah, so you German?
He accused the one guy of being a German
Oh,
spy.
you're right. He did say German spy. Okay, I remember that one.
And there's other references.
But it was very loose. They definitely didn't reference it much.
Yeah.
It was, if you don't know the history of this movie and you go in and watch it, you're not going to know what's going on. It's almost impossible.
You'll infer.
Yeah,
You just might not know the
think it was-
details.
Well, I know that I'm outweighed in the car, but everyone else that I talked to tonight about this movie that was in our group confer with me. So as far as that's concerned, you guys a little bit more into history than I am. So for me, it was pretty rough.
I just feel like it should be pretty easily. I feel like it should be figured out fairly easily.
And that's probably what Nolan was thinking. He's like, oh, this is just common knowledge for everyone. Well,
I think
Okay, so the name Dunkirk doesn't. This is how little of history I'm into it. Don't even know about this thing before this movie. I didn't even.
Right.
So I didn't have any prior knowledge of
Gotcha.
Dunkirk.
right.
So you knew it was in France?
No, it didn't.
Okay.
It was filmed on location. I saw the credits. So it's kind of fun.
I thought it was fun that some of it was filmed in the U.S. Makes me wonder what bits were filmed in the U.S.
Probably the bit where they're on the train.
Even though that was supposed to be England. And we don't really have many trains. Anyway,
I like the movie. I'd give it a green light.
David.
Well, although I am...
Well, you had something else to go with that. You just said, I'll give it a green light just to...
I don't know what else I'd say.
All right.
Well,
But
for
I'm
me,
sure it'll
I
be
would
long.
say,
Right.
and I'm massively outweighed by everybody except for Isaiah, Because everybody else that was with us did.
Yeah, I felt like an outcast.
Literally hate the
That's good. I'm really glad you felt like an outcast.
Yeah.
What?
But I thought.
Thanks. That's good. Glad you feel like a loser.
I didn't say you should feel like a loser. I said outcast. That's way different.
I don't know.
It's very different. Outcasts can be winners. They don't have to be losers.
Okay. So you're the loser?
I didn't say anyone was a loser. Why does someone have to win and someone have to lose in this scenario?
Yes. All right, David, continue.
No, yeah. So I thought it was. Let me give you a little background on what I came into this movie thinking. I did not expect anything from this movie. I'm usually a Nolan fan, but this was not his normal sci-fi-esque approach to filmmaking, as most of his previous films. So I was like, oh, he's taking history by storm, or he's taking on history. And I just was kind of like, okay, we'll see what he does with it. But I thought it was phenomenal.
Wow.
Yeah.
So on a 1 to 10 scale, phenomenal kind of is like 9 and 10 range.
Right, 9.5 probably.
Good Lord.
Yeah. But see, everything that you hated, I loved. Everything that everybody pointed out as like their annoyance,
Yeah,
I loved.
So interesting.
I would agree with that.
Anyway, so you guys haven't heard hardly anything I've said about the movie, but anyway, because I talked to everyone else because I was saving it for the podcast. So since you give it that, obviously you're a green light, because if it's a 9.5, it's a green light. I'm a very strong yellow. Cautionary. Because one thing about the movie, aside from the audio, which I've already covered, that's just, if your ears are sensitive, understand it's going to be really freaking loud. However, aside from that, the movie was very difficult to follow the narrative. Because in the beginning, they showed like the 1 day, 1 hour, whatever stuff.
Yeah.
I can't even remember exactly what it said now because it
was like week, hour.
Yeah, but
day
it was so weirdly worded. It was also hard to understand. I was like, I don't know what you're trying to say. And then eventually I started putting it together. But by the point I was putting it together, I couldn't remember what it said. So it was hard to catch the transition because there was no real transition. It was just scene change to a completely different perspective, that did not actually make sense until you watched it for a while. However, I will say, for argument's sake, it did make the movie feel as if it was disorienting. So to me, the movie was a bit nauseous and disorienting. However, it did, in a sense, add to a realism of experiencing what was happening. So to say something negative, but to bring it back to what it may have been trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Because it was extremely, extremely difficult to follow.
I didn't have that issue.
It would be night in one scene, and then day, and then night, and then day. How did you follow that?
It just took a moment to figure out what was happening. But I just think it had a lot of depth to the movie. But had they told it completely linear, I just don't think the movie would have played nearly as well.
So I'm a yellow. I'm on the lower end of yellow because I'm at about probably a 4, maybe a little bit lower.
Woo!
See, but
and I came in thinking, oh, I'm open, because I'm open to almost anything.
A 4.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a 4 or below.
A 4 or below.
Correct. It's hard to get to a 4 for me.
I know.
I'm saying it's hard for me to give this movie a 4.
Oh, I would love to have a record of what we've rated movies in front of me, so I could put this on the table with other movies that are in the same ballpark.
I would rather watch 10 Cloverfield Lane again.
Oh, I have no problem. I would say that. Maybe, I don't know. 10. I thought it was a good movie, minus the last part.
The last part. But I would much rather watch that than this movie. But that said, we weren't talking about rewatch. Because I would almost rewatch this movie at home. Let me specify that.
With the volume down.
Yeah, not the volume, not turned way up. And subtitles so I could read everything. But just so that I could catch some of the things that I know that I didn't make sense of the first time.
I know. I would like to see it again just because I know I didn't catch everything.
Yeah.
But
They give them some props. The look, the feel, the videography, everything to do with the production of the movie in that sense was stellar. Everything done digitally when it was there was stellar.
Do you say it's interstellar?
No, I wouldn't. I would just say it was fantastic as far as that was concerned. Now, so since I just spoke about how much I thought the movie was nauseating and disorienting, I will say one particular line of the movie, like direction, was the young fella that was trying to take a dump in the very beginning. I enjoyed him start to finish. Yeah. I loved where he started. I loved his narrative through the whole movie because everything about his particular story to me was superb, and that is the movie's saving grace for me.
I love the opening scene. Like,
had he not been in the movie, like had there not been something else, at least his equal, I couldn't. I'd have to give this movie a red light. It was because of him, his character, and the whole thing. There was not anything about his direct story that I didn't like.
I could see it
because it was just. I love the fact that he's like, oh my god, I really gotta go take a dump. So he just tries to take a dump, and he gets shot at.
Yeah.
And then he finally escapes, and then he gets to the beach, and he's like, oh god, I really gotta take that dump now. And it's just like, just things like to kind of, it was just a real fun story. And then he, collected people along the way, and you got their little bit of their story without there being a lot of dialogue. And that, to me,
that is one thing his movie didn't have a lot of, was dialogue. Very minimal.
No, they definitely allow you to kind of formulate your own thoughts, like to get your own emotion involved. They're not spoon feeding you, so to speak. Which may be part of what you guys picked up on, and you really enjoyed it because they're not spoon feeding you an emotion. Maybe that was part of it, but
yeah, for me, like all the little details is what made it really, really special. Because like, I'll just throw this out there. Tom Hardy's
love him.
Brilliant acting behind a mask once again.
Mm-hmm. I like your reference, Bane. That was fun.
And it's like his eyes and like how he conveys emotion.
He does
because he's behind a aviator's mask.
Yeah. Most
of the movie, actually, almost all of his scene.
Yeah.
And his ability to convey that was brilliant. Again, I chuckled on the inside. He was like, oh, it's Bane. That's like that's why he was.
At least he didn't talk like it. It was really disrupting or disturbing. Excuse me. But again, with the young fella, that I really enjoyed his story. When it comes to that, it was him, his story, everything about it, and then all of the fighter plane scenes. Turn the volume down so that I'm not distracted and my ears don't hurt. And they were so fun. Something about airplanes flying through the sky.
Beautiful.
Trying to take people out. And the
I
perspective
enjoyed that
of all of them were so good. The dude crashing the plane into the water and getting rescued. Like, it was intense. I thought for a moment he was going to die. Like, their perspectives, every part of the video directions. Video-wise, the movie was really good.
Videography was phenomenal. The sea shots, everything was stellar.
It just makes me wonder if I give this another watch later, so that I can actually follow what's going on without being so just, what the heck, if I would enjoy it better.
Let me say this point, when you do watch this again, because I'm pretty sure you will, to keep this in mind, because I think this is what I caught on to, that it made it really enjoyable for me, was that all the storylines were overlapping for a very specific reason. So that all the action of every person's storyline was at the same time. So like the night scenes up to the day scenes, they overlapped it to where you could see where the story was going, and then they went back and showed you the development of some of the storylines, to where by the climax of that piece of the movie, everything was happening and all the climaxes came together. It was almost like they made it the central hub of the wheel. And so that's what I saw the storyline as. He was writing it so that every story could be told at its climactic moment at the same time without actually doing it cheesily in the linear normal telling of a story. That's why I think he did it, because he was.
I did feel it was a creative storytelling. It just wasn't something that I enjoyed. And that said, I mean, there's so much stuff out there that you like that I don't. You know, like, you don't have to agree on everything.
This is true. We just haven't been this far off.
No, for probably ever. But it's just, it's probably because I did catch up on some of the writing with the movie, and it was just like, this is so difficult to follow, which is kind of interesting because there's other movies that are difficult to follow for a lot of people that I'm like, it just clicks with me, like, and I really enjoy them because of me just grasping the story.
To put it in some perspective, the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes is an 83, and the tomato meter is a 92.
See, I thought they were 85 when I checked it, because I had looked it up and I thought it was 85, so they're actually at 92 now.
Tomato meter is, yeah.
Yeah, so they bumped up then, because it was lower.
Yeah, I think
when I first looked at it.
I think on rewatch it'll have more value.
Perhaps. But I'm definitely down. I'm really below half. Subpar on this one for sure for me.
And
you said so many good things about it, though.
You're right, but it was so hard to follow. Other than that one dude, like, it was still so confusing at times. Which, at this point, talking in the car with you guys makes me feel a little stupid.
Yeah.
Because obviously you guys are like, I don't know how you didn't get this. Well, because he was...
Fair, and I'll say it this way: because of the nature of the film,
crack or something before we go in.
Well,
speed up our brains.
No, because of the nature of the film, I didn't expect to get every detail because it's like Schindler's List and all those other epic style films that are like historical yet very detailed. I never get all of the details, so I was already expecting that coming into the film, and I couldn't hear half of the dialogue.
Oh, you're right. You go deaf at the plane fighting scenes and the bombing.
Like the muffled
and
dialogue.
Then you can't hear, and I'm like, what did he say?
Yeah.
Like, I looked over at Jared and I was like, what did he say? And he's like...
Yeah, and so for that reason, all those details I kind of already gave grace for, because I already knew that was the kind of movie it was going to be. Because most movies like that, I have to watch with subtitles at home in order to...
Like, I don't go into any movie expecting it to be bad. I literally don't. You know, I'm very open with movies. So it was really a shock that how much I didn't enjoy this movie. Because I go in, like, wholeheartedly non-critic. Because I rate almost everything at an 8. Just because I think it's at least an 8.
That's what I think is so crazy. Because you're so optimistic to almost all movies.
Yeah.
To be at really barely a 4.
Yeah.
To be saying that's gracious of you to give it a 4 seems out of character.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how it's out of character, but...
Well, no, because you said you give almost everything an 8.
Yeah.
So it's definitely out of character.
I don't know, but like I'm saying, I don't know how. Like,
okay.
I didn't tickle my fancy
hold on.
anyway. It was rough.
This is the only question I have for you, Jacob, is what did you give Baywatch?
I wish we
Definitely
should
higher than a
record.
4.
We should record all of these numbers so I can have it on a Google
Because with
sheet so I can look at it.
I think you gave Baywatch an 8.
with a Baywatch, it was entertaining. It was funny. This movie had no humor, so I didn't expect it to have humor.
There was one scene with the redhead on the boat that I just laughed at because it was such a long shot of this random redhead waving with this like big old smile, and I just thought that was a lovely homage to like the ginger community. It was just beautiful.
Funny.
I seriously chuckled on the inside.
It makes me wonder. Now, this is funny psychologically. Because you know when we watch this dude and you get people together and then they kind of like feed off of one another?
Yeah.
Since I didn't much like it, Jared didn't much like it, and I don't know about Devin, I didn't talk to him. But then you and David were right together. Like, psychologically, it would be so cool to know what would happen if you were next to me and Jared was next to David.
Yeah.
Like, if it would be more even, or if you would be skewed more, or if we would come up and you would come down and we'd balance more. Like, it makes me really wonder.
Well, we were
just
laughing.
Sitting next to a person?
Well, yeah, we would like to talk about groups, because if you guys are still having, you guys probably like laugh and snicker or like, oh, at the same moments. Like, there was one time I jumped out of my skin because it was a really good...
Every time he did it.
I only did it once. Oh, I only did it once. It was the one scene where it was Tom Hardy was in his plane, or it was his friend when his friend got shot down. And I can't remember which one it was, but it was when it was in their thing, and also
like a face shot.
Just super fast, just super quick. but it was just
Very Kenny.
so loud.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh.
Every shot.
Jared's over there laughing at me.
Every shot like that, every single shot from a plane, I jumped because it was so abrupt and so sharp.
Yeah, it was.
Which is why I liked
Holy
it, but
shit.
it was because it didn't hurt my ears. It was a part of the experience.
I don't know how, like, I don't know how it didn't hurt everyone's ears. Because mine were just like, I was like,
It just scared
oh my God. The one scene I was pushing so hard. It was for at least 20 seconds and I was like, checked it, and I was like, okay, it's calmed down. Because I was like, oh, this hurts me so bad. But then I want to watch the movie without, like, flinching and without being in pain.
Yeah.
But that might be why they did it, so that you can feel the pain of the movie.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was saying to Jared. I was like, it could be like they were trying to help you get into what this may feel like. Right. And it was intense, but I kind of feel like spray me with some water, make this smell funny in the theater, like give me some other things covering up my senses, not just making my ears bleed. You know, I'm talking about like Disney experiences because they're super fun. There's like heat and touch and stuff. I think they're neat. But anyway, I'm being funny on that. But that would be cool to watch movies like that.
Yeah,
sometimes you give me a scent bomb during movies, but they don't really fit the scene.
It's very rare though. That's not often. It is just very rare, especially considering how many we see.
I really, one thing I did enjoy was when the ship was going down at one of the times.
Which one of the ships?
One of the times. I think the first one, where he was escaping and just there was two aspects to two different times I liked, but just the way that they did the water scene, the way that they made you feel immersed. It was
maybe that's what they shot in the U.S.
Yeah, it was new to any other similar scene, any other movie that I've seen, to where I really felt the tension of that moment. Like,
the water moments were rough because one of the things you point out that kind of remind me is some of the mountings of the cameras were very fun to me. Because it would be like mounted here.
Oh, yeah.
But it would tilt.
The ship would tilt.
It would tilt, but the water and the people didn't. So it was like, well, that was neat because that messed with my head a little. Yeah. So it's kind of intentional, obviously.
Yeah.
But how to convey, because the movie was extremely chaotic.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And
that's kind of what I meant by the disorienting and the nauseous part. Like, I don't mean it didn't make me sick to my stomach. It was just... Maybe it was part of the realism, quote unquote, fingers. Hashtag I gotta explain it.
Yeah, weird one to say that.
I really enjoyed. I think going back to what you said about the one main character in the beginning.
Yeah.
The one thing I liked about him was he was an unknown and just an average-looking kid.
Yeah.
Like there was no star appeal to him.
Nope. He didn't do anything overly special.
No.
Pull the one dude in to keep him from getting squished.
Right. I think they just wanted to... I think they did it on purpose to kind of give the understanding of what it meant to be at war and just the average kid that was there.
Yeah. That's the reason why I did probably enjoyed him, because they made it feel as if they're trying to make the audience feel like they were
He just
there.
had the most story, too, though, so that it was something more to grasp on.
Well, Tom Hardy had the most facial acting scenes.
You think so?
I just enjoyed Tom Hardy's moments. Every moment he was on screen.
I mean, it's just Tom Hardy is like, not to distract from the guy, he's in questionable movies, but even those performances in those movies are phenomenal. Like, I don't know if you ever watched Bronson, but he was the dude in I can't remember everything about it, but I think his name was Charlie Bronson, and he was a killer in I think it's the UK. Don't quote me because I can't remember for sure. But man, it's out there. But his performance in that role was just phenomenal. Because I remember I got on this trip, it was a few years back. But what I was doing is I was watching actors, and I was going in order of movies that they've appeared in. And I'd watch all of their movies.
That's interesting.
It was a fun thing to do.
From current, or would you go from beginning?
I would go from the beginning movie when they started, and then I would watch.
How would you acquire these films?
Some of them I just would bootleg, if I'm honest. But it was just that, or Netflix it. And some of them I didn't get to watch them all. Like, I missed some. But, like, Bronson was one of them that made it in the Tom Hardy cut. And I was just like, because he's in a lot of stuff. He's in Inception. But he's not a key role in Inception. No. It's Leo and is that the main role in that one. And then there's a couple more even above Tom Hardy in that. Like,
well, that was right before his rise, right?
Probably. But when he was in, it was, that one was good. When he was in that movie, that was really good. But I, in particular, loved him. And him and Shia LaBeouf. God, I wish I could remember the name of the movie at the moment.
Was it,
They ran moonshine.
Transformers.
Yeah, I was going to actually bring that up. It's about basically the whiskey mob kind of situation.
Shia LaBeouf, the guy, the main male role from Valerian, he was in it with Shia LaBeouf.
Right.
And Tom Hardy. And
it was about moonshine.
Yeah.
The movie about moonshine.
Anyway, that particular movie, it'll probably come to me later, but was just phenomenal. I like Shia LaBeouf's character. I like Tom Hardy's character. Yeah, flawless. Everything about the movie, the look of the movie, the antique style they gave it and feel and stuff was just phenomenal.
And the little dance at the end.
Yeah, I love the whole thing. Love the whole movie. Anyway, so I really enjoyed Tom Hardy. I liked the old man on the boat feeling like he had to do his duty. Yeah, and then it come out that his son was, an airman, so that was cute. He saved an airman that wasn't his son. Like, that was a neat touch. It hit me in the feels.
Poor little kid got pushed down the stairs
and bumped his head
and died.
Well, became blind and then died.
Oh. And he still died.
That's true. But the progression's important. You didn't just die.
Kind of wish he just was blind.
Kind of wish he just died instantly.
And the interesting twist on the end was really, really cathartic. Like,
oh, you mean the hint towards the sequel?
No.
I mean when the Molotov cocktail blew up the ship?
No.
That'd be amazing if they had an
No.
alien ship show up.
No. Skip the alien ship. They're on the boat. They take down one of the fighters with a Molotov.
I love
it. Okay. Hashtag not real. So, like...
Playing with my cord. I didn't mess up anything. I just realized it, so I stopped.
No, the final scene where the guy who was flipping out that they rescued, that caused the kid to hit his head to cause him to die, and the other son that was the boy that was on the ship that was his best friend, or his friend. I'm not sure if they were best friends, but
I feel like they were friends. I don't feel like
they were best friends. But his heart was for him. You can tell and he was mad at the guy, and just you can tell that tension. And then at the very end, when he dies, and they find out he died, he asks about him, says he's going to be okay, and the way he responds and says yes was just a twister for me. I was just like, oh my gosh, that was...
It's very mature.
That was very mature. Like,
yeah, I didn't know which way I was going to go with that. I didn't know.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be like, he's dead, idiot, it's all your fault. Yeah, but he's like, no, yes. And it was just like, oh, you're keeping the peace. And then the little nod from his father, like letting him know that you made the right choice, was just a really nice moment in the film. So, yeah.
Anybody got anything else?
Character development. I got tons. I could talk about this for probably another 20 minutes, but I thought the way they wrote it actually made me excited about storytelling. And I was thinking, man, if I could write something that had this much, like, twists and turns, but you could still follow it up.
Don't let me prove it.
Unfortunately, I think it was.
If you write something with this many twists and turns, let Isaiah prove it.
Well, here's the deal. Like, I caught on when the night scene happened, and the guy that had gotten rescued was on the boat and he was clean. I realized, oh, they're telling the story linearly. And then after that, I was able to capture and follow. Because I was like, okay, this is night, this is before, this is after. And I didn't really try to logic it. Okay, this is after, this is before. And that's kind of where
It does make me wonder, like, at a second viewing, if I would sway my opinion.
I'd like to think it would.
Yeah.
At least somewhat.
You won't know.
Get off of before.
But I will reiterate that the The fighter pilot scenes were my favorite part of the film. They were probably the
They're my
best.
favorite action scene.
Yeah, they're probably
Sure.
the best, the most authentically shot.
I like
And
the dude
fun.
trying to take it down. Like,
That was fun. That was comedic. There was the comedic
it was
relief.
a bit funny because it's like, oh, he's really got
The opening scene really, I was like, oh gosh, just like
Yeah, it was
6
intense.
guys
Every one of
hanging
the
out and
dudes
only
died.
one guy makes
And I like how he grabbed the things, the papers that were falling from the
To
sky
use as toilet
to
paper.
wipe his
He
butt.
used his toilet paper. That
Yeah.
was a good touch.
And the papers.
The propaganda, the Propo stuff.
Yeah.
He was wiping his butt on Propos, which was kind of
symbolic.
symbolic. Yeah.
There was also one shot where they were on the beach, and there was a backup retreat of the camera, and the 2 bars that were standing on the beach came into view, and it kind of made it look like a jail cell, like. And I wondered if that was intentional.
Huh.
Of like,
Didn't catch that.
you know.
So definitely my first take. So what do you put to the movie? Because you gave it a green light, but you didn't actually give it
8.5, 9.
a numerical figure. Okay.
I would say if you can handle sharp hitting audio, you need to see it in the theaters because that's the whole point of.
Maybe-
Don't go into this really tired, that's for sure.
But you didn't fall asleep.
No, I didn't. No, me falling asleep is no indication of a movie's quality. It could happen on
No, but
anything.
you have fallen asleep almost every
What
other
is it
time.
tired? I'm not getting what you're referencing.
No, just to follow a storyline. I'm just saying.
Oh.
Make sure that you were
You're alert.
prepared to
Yeah, you're alert.
pay attention to details. Because if you miss it, I could see why.
I just must have missed so many details. Like, and I'm wide awake. Like,
I don't know.
I don't understand. Because, like, again, one of your statements make me feel dumb because
No,
I didn't
I'm
get the movie.
I'm not my intention.
I wasn't awake.
Before you watch it, you're gonna have to take brain octane oil.
Oh gosh.
I think
like-
you were disoriented by the audio. I think that's what really caught you.
But it wasn't that loud the whole movie.
Also, psychologically, you said that psychologically you wonder if our groupings. Me and Isaiah were laughing pretty consistently right before the movie about all the trailers. So we already.
I was like, how is there more trailers? How is it happening?
And
This
so
is
I
a good
think that
segue
that
to
might
talk
have-
about trailers though.
To talk about
I do wanna
trailers.
talk about
so
some.
Geostorm, it had me hooked for a while.
Yeah,
and then I watched tonight's trailer.
was so much better than this
And
one.
then I watched tonight's trailer, and I'm like, again, I feel like it's the Free State of Jones. I just watched the entire film in the trailer.
I think that too, yes, but I just think that it does not look nearly as good.
No.
The first just kind of teaser trailer.
Like, I could have come in with that trailer and hated the movie and still enjoyed my experience. Now I don't even know if I'll watch the movie.
I think hopefully it falls on because I still do kind of want to see it.
It would have to happen if nothing else makes the cut. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be one of those weeks for me, I feel.
We haven't had to skip very many movies.
No, but
they always
it
end
just
up
depends on how
working,
this
so.
plays out in the next coming weeks, because I don't know how it's going to play out, because
Yeah.
there is some questionable content that...
We can put that on a Wednesday night.
Question content for what?
Atomic Blonde is one of them in particular, because I am very fascinated, but
I am too.
I have to find out, because there is nudity, so I have to find out exactly in which way it's portrayed.
Yeah.
The snowman also looks really freaky.
I actually kind of like it.
Oh no, I
I want
wanna
to watch
see
it.
I do.
Because I feel like it's in the same category as Split. Like, I don't feel like it's...
Oh, it doesn't look demonic.
It's more of a
No,
it's more of a psychological story.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
really
yeah.
enjoy the dude that's playing the lead detective in it. Like, or whatever he
Yeah.
was. I like him. I like his
Michael
acting
Fassbender?
ability. Sure, because I don't know names that well.
David mentioned a remake. What is it called? A Killer on a Train?
No,
On the train?
the
Murder on a Train?
Murder on the Orient Express.
Oh, just kidding.
Yeah.
That looked kind of cute.
It's
to
a
me.
remake of an older film.
I think it could be good. If
I'm
they do it
struggling.
right. If they do it right.
I am struggling because it's kind of like the feeling that they are overcompensating, because it is an all-star cast.
Yeah.
So many big people.
Okay.
I think that was the nature
so-
of the original film. too.
Which is fine. That's okay. I mean, you got a lot of big names. You got Penelope Cruz, and you got Ewan McGregor, and then you got Johnny Depp, and there's a lot of big people.
But
So-
I love how they threw in some random ones.
They did. Like, the black guy was random. I'm really, really shocked it's not Samuel L. Jackson.
And the Latin guy. there's a Latin guy that I don't know who
Snakes
he is.
on the train.
There's some serious main lead roles that are played by nobodies.
So, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Like,
But you have to
The
admit,
trailer had me intrigued.
currently, well, it's not the first time I've seen the trailer, and I was
It's the
intrigued.
first time I've seen it.
Oh, okay. It's not the first.
what
I've
I
seen
said
it a
was like,
few
oh,
times.
it's Snowpiercer 2.
I don't think I ever watched Snowpiercer.
Are you serious?
No, I never watched
Did
that.
you like it, David?
I liked it for its philosophical reasons.
Because Snowpiercer's the one that Captain America played in, right? Wasn't
I
it
have
him?
no idea if it's his name. I'm so bad at people.
Okay.
But I really liked Snowpiercer. I thought it was.
I'd have to watch it because I have seen it and I've been interested, but I've never watched it.
It was. I don't feel like it was accepted very well, but
Yeah, it wasn't.
I thought for what it was, I enjoyed it.
The only thing that I loved and didn't like, it was like a duality. I loved it, but that's because I didn't like it. But that's why I loved it. Was the fact that
Please say something else that makes
pretty,
sense.
that is pretty much our friendship.
the fact that Chris Evans was in the lead role and he still sounded just like Captain America. Like it's just he still portrayed Captain America to be just in dirtier clothes.
However, I did really, 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 really enjoy Chris Evans in that movie we just watched. What was it? With the girl.
Gifted?
Yeah. That was a fun one.
I missed that.
I think we brought that up
Last week, too.
on this podcast.
So-
Yeah.
Hashtag.
No, it was
double-
our podcast.
Just this one we did.
Yeah, the one we just
couch.
did a couple days ago. The couch cast.
Couchcast. Oh, that's it.
High five.
Welcome to the Couchcast.
Hashtag couchcast. Hashtag high five.
That was good.
Hashtag I'm a nerd. Yep. So there's definitely some interesting. I think the Snowman, stupid title, looks kind of fun.
No, I think it looks really thrilling.
I just don't want to see another trailer that shows any other perspectives.
And I will say this: the
Trailers are so. I wish if we could only restrict it, because I like to know what's coming up. I wish we could restrict
Teasers.
teasers. Just
Because the
only teasers.
Geostorm teaser
Was-
looked cheesy, but it looked fun.
The trailer looks really cheesy.
Yeah. But the teaser looked cheesy, but fun.
Yeah.
There was no fun in the full trailer.
Yeah.
To me. Let's just go ahead and cover Justice League. Pretty excited.
That looks fun.
I'm kind of excited to see Ben. Ben, I want to see you actually. I want to see how you do in this because people didn't like Batman vs Superman, and I'm rooting for you now. Like I went the opposite direction because I was very upset about them casting you, but now I'm excited.
And I'm excited because as you notice, the trailers don't give any hint to whether Superman's going to be in the film. But you know that through the posters that he's got to be in the film because he's in the Kingdom Come poster that just came out.
Oh, you mean the dead Superman?
Yeah, the dead
Gotcha,
Superman.
gotcha.
Yeah. So they're doing this because he is dead. And the Comic-Con trailer just got leaked yesterday. Quotations in air.
You do remember that I don't enjoy having spoilers in my trailers.
Well,
I feel like you're about to talk about something pretty critical.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. So I'm just saying that it got leaked, and it's more exciting.
See, he was about to say Superman is in the freaking movie.
He's not. I know he wasn't in the trailer, but it was more exciting.
Oh gosh.
So, yeah, I really am excited for Justice League. Not just for the fact I'm both intrigued and excited for this one fact that they've basically reshot the whole movie in reshoots, and they're working hard to get it put together before its release date. And so they're really struggling to make sure this thing is awesome.
Why didn't they reshoot it?
Okay, so that basically reports came out that normally most movies, especially of high caliber things like this, they will do reshoots of certain scenes that they didn't like or whatever, or they'll do.
So you're saying almost the whole movie got reshot?
Yeah, almost the whole movie, unparalleled in any other film. Almost the whole movie was reshot. Or they'll do a test run, or they'll do some sort of surveying about the film on small closed groupings, and then based on their response, they'll actually reshoot certain scenes to change things.
So basically, what you're saying is everyone hated everything they saw.
Yeah, and so they reshot it.
Interesting.
So, maybe not hated it, but maybe the aim that this has, the pressure that's on this film
Oh, it's huge.
is so huge.
Because the Avengers set the bar so high.
Well, and the DC universe has set the bar so
Wonder
low.
Woman too. And so
No, yeah, I get you. Well, that's what I mean. Everything, well, not everything, but the majority of Marvel has gotten to the point where you go into it knowing it should be at least pretty decent.
Yeah.
Well, you go into DC knowing it's a coin toss.
It is.
You literally flip a coin in the air.
I mean, after the what was that movie with the Joker? I can't remember the name right now.
The Dark Knight?
No, the recent one.
Oh, yeah, that was a way different realm of characters, though. You're talking about Suicide Squad.
Right, Suicide Squad. But it was still tied into the DC.
Yeah, but it's a different universe. It's not the same one.
No, it's supposed to tie in.
It's not supposed to be the same cinematic universe, though.
Really?
Not from what Matt was telling me.
Okay, well, maybe that's true. But just all the stuff
This part gets really confusing.
It does for me, but
Like what?
Matt and Jeremy I don't think it's supposed to be
Well,
the
if it
same
was
one as
supposed
the
to be,
Justice League.
I wouldn't be surprised if they cut it off after the movie came out. I'm like, no, this isn't going to be a part of the universe.
I thought Suicide Squad was fun. I just thought should have been called Will Smith Squad, but
What's his name?
Night Shot or no,
I think you're close there.
something shot, Deadshot Squad.
Yeah. So I'm excited for it just because they're working so hard on it. And the characters are quite enjoyable. Wonder Woman, and I enjoyed Wonder Woman.
And a lot of people hate Poseidon, and I think so far he looks like a baddie.
You mean Aquaman?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Yeah,
I literally
my
was
bad.
like,
You were okay
are we
with it.
talking about the ship movie?
No.
I was like, what transition?
No, I'm talking about Aquaman. Sorry. And so far he looks like a baddie. Like I kind of think it looks cool.
Yeah.
But that's the only trailers I can remember. Keep running like that. You won't look like that anymore.
That was really
What's funny is that the fat one won. She's not a quitter.
Anything else? Social media plugs.
Yep. I like how you just say social media plugs and you expect me to do it. Though.
No,
Like,
well,
it's like
we've been
fake.
teaming it up, and you've been doing, and I've been catching. You've been throwing. You've been
Oh, yeah, you're right. I've been pitching and you've been catching. Yep. So check us out over on Facebook
at facebook.com/StoplightSpoilers
and Twitter.
at StoplightSpoilers.
And you can also check us out on Instagram, which is my favorite.
StoplightSpoilers. Or Tumblr. And don't forget to rate us on iTunes.
And we're on Stitcher.
We are. And Google Play.
And on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. I think that wraps it up. I think that we got them all this time.
And what's that other one?
Switcher? Or is that what?
Yeah, Stitcher.
Stitcher, not Switcher.
Or whatever it's called. Switcher?
I think it's Tinder. Yeah, at Stoplight.
Swipe left or right. I don't even know what direction to swipe.
Acceptors.
Tinder is like if you swipe left or in. Well, I don't know which direction's which.
Oh,
like
okay.
one
One is
direction
one-
means
one
like,
is yes,
hey
one is-
baby.
I
The
got
other's
you.
like no thanks.
I think swipe
Okay.
left is accept. I
Okay.
think.
One of my students during growth and development class, they said, "Can I get an STD from swiping left?"
That's fine.
Clever kid.
That was
Clever.
funny. Let's just point out one little thing I thought was kind of cool. Hashtag Teach Your Life.
Yeah.
We just found out that our buddy at the theater, Sean, is a teacher. Teaches locally
That's fun.
in public school system, which I thought was kind of fun.
This is the problem. He has to have a summer job.
This is the problem. Hashtag pay Oklahoma teachers more.
See, this is what I do for my summer job. I spend money on podcasts.
And spend money on Colorado and Nevada and California and Virginia.
And Tough Mudders.
Yeah. But
It's worth it.
Teach Your Life. Having that fun.
It's summer.
Hey, man, it's just money. You spend it
And
and
you
you make
make it.
more.
Except.
When you don't.
All right. This is Isaiah, and I'm out.
See you guys next week.
This is the featured guest, once again, David, and I am out.
Bye, David.
Bye,
Bye.
baby.
Get out of the car.
Okay.
Hashtag sponsor us.